Hi everybody, I'm in a new background today. This is still my living room, but I'm sitting on the floor in front of my couch. Since it got to be fall and the sun keeps going down earlier and earlier every day, it's getting harder to find places to film. I mean, there's still no natural light here, but I'm just trying a couple new spots to see where is the best and where I can get the best lighting. Although lighting doesn't matter too much for the video I'm going to do today, and that's going to be 5 curly hair tips. So I had curly hair for my whole life, and when I was a kid, my hairdresser used to always tell me that I had a natural wave, whatever that means. And as I got to be a teenager and started really doing experimenting with my hair on my own, I found that I could get really big curls out of it, and I don't have just a natural wave. What I have is big curly hair. So since then I've been experimenting with different techniques to get it curly, to make it look good when it's curly. For a long time I was straightening my hair all the time, and now I've gone completely curly all the time. So what I'm doing right now, and what I've been doing for about the last 6 months, is a technique called the Curly Girl method. There's a great website called naturallycurly.com where you can learn all about that. And it's a little complicated. You have to buy specific products that don't have specific ingredients in them. And so these tips, you don't need to be doing the Curly Girl method for these tips to work for you. These tips are kind of the things that I learned over the last 10 years of my life trying to figure out curly hair tips and how to get the best look out of my curls. So there's 5 of them, so let's get started. The first tip that I have is to stop brushing your hair and to instead detangle it in the shower with a lot of conditioner in it. So what that means for me is after I wash my hair, I'll put a bunch of conditioner all through it, not on my scalp but everywhere else, and then I'll use my fingers to detangle it. I used to use a big wide tooth comb, but I found that using my fingers is even more gentle on my hair. If you brush your hair when it's dry, that really is just asking for it to break on you, and it's really damaging to your hair. So the idea with curls is that you want to be as gentle with them as you possibly can, and that helps them form better and for them to become more and more healthy. So what I do instead now is I put a bunch of conditioner in my hair, and then I use my fingers and I just rake through my hair, and anytime I hit a tangle, I then just pull it apart like that. And that seems to be the most gentle way, and I seem to get the best results out of that particular method. Tip 2 is to put your styling products in when your hair is still soaking wet and scrunch them in. So after I've detangled my hair in the shower, I'll turn off the water, and while my hair is soaking wet, I won't try and wring it out or anything at all. Then I put in a leave-in conditioner and I rake that all through my hair. And then I flip my hair upside down and I use a gel and I scrunch it into my hair while it's still soaking wet. So you want to hear that gross, icky sound that hair makes when you're scrunching it, and when it's still soaking wet, you want to hear that sound. If you don't hear it, it's not wet enough and you should wet it and start over again. So I flipping my hair upside down and scrunching in gel is so far one of the best things. I've been doing that for years and years, even before I started the Curly Girl method. That's one thing that I always found works the best is upside down and scrunch, and the wetter your hair is, the better that it will be. The next tip that I have is to stop using terry cloth towels on your hair. You can still use it on your body, but on your hair, all the little loops on the terry cloth towels will snag your hair, and that makes frizz. So there's 2 things that I do instead of using terry cloth towels now. If I'm in a rush and it's in the morning before I need to go to work and I really need to cut down on drying time, if I let my hair dry naturally every day, it takes 3 or 4 hours for my hair to actually finish completely drying. So I do a lot of things to make sure that I can cut down on drying time, because I don't have 4 hours in the morning. I'm not getting up at 4 o'clock to start working on my hair. So one thing that I do is after I've put my products in and my hair is still soaking wet and I'm still standing in the shower, I use a terry cloth towel like this, or not a terry cloth, a microfiber towel like this, and I basically try and scrunch out moisture from my hair with this. Now this will cause frizz. If I have a bunch of time, I will skip this step because this does cause a little bit of frizz, just a whole lot less than if you were using a regular towel. So yeah, to soak out some of the moisture, I'll just scrunch with this. Then, when I get out of the shower, and I do this regardless of whether I have time or not, I'll use a cotton t-shirt like this. This is a huge, nice big one for my boyfriend, and an old one that he doesn't use anymore, and I'll do what's called plopping. And I hate that word. The words for curly hair, the terms that they use are just all awful. But anyway, plopping. So I put this on the toilet seat, the toilet's closed, and I put this on the toilet seat, and I pile all my hair into one spot, and then wrap it up in this cotton t-shirt. And I'll wear that for 20 minutes, half an hour, and that really does a good job of soaking up a lot of the water, and without damaging my curls at all, and without creating frizz. So that's step 3. Tip 4 is to use a diffuser. So this is my diffuser. You can buy a regular hairdryer, and then at Sally's or someplace like that, you can get a big attachment to a bowl diffuser, which is a bowl diffuser like this. And what that does is it separates the air and makes it so that it's not such a big jet stream right at your hair, and that reduces frizz in itself. The best way that I found to blow dry my hair with the diffuser is to pile as much hair as I can fit into the bowl and then press it right up against my head and leave it there for about 60 seconds, or about as long as I can stand. If you have a cool shot button, that will really help in case it gets too hot. But basically the reason why you want to do this instead of just blow drying your hair like this is because this will blow around all your hair and that will cause frizz. Instead, if you put it right close to your scalp, there's nowhere for your hair to go, and so it doesn't blow around, and so it doesn't cause frizz. And so I just do this in sections all the way around my head. And a lot of times I'll also do it upside down because that makes for awesome volume, and I'm always looking for super big volume. The last tip for curly hair that I have is to sleep on a satin pillowcase and to use a scrunchie, or any kind of hair tie that's covered in a cloth. It could be cotton, or it could be silk or satin, and pile up all your hair in a really high ponytail and just use this one loop if you can get away with it. If you have enough hair, stick it up really high, stick it all up really high, and then sleep on a satin pillowcase. So a satin pillowcase makes your hair sort of glide around a bunch, and your hair doesn't get caught on it as much as a cotton pillowcase, and so you keep your curls that way. And then you can wake up the next day, pull this out, and your hair can still be styled. It might need a little bit of touching up, but you mostly keep most of your curls for the next day. So that's how I get second day curls. So I hope these 5 tips helped. To go over them again, they're to stop brushing your hair when it's dry, or brushing your hair at all, and to detangle it in the shower with a lot of conditioner in it and using your fingers or a wide tooth comb. Tip 2 is to put your styling products in your hair when it's soaking wet and to scrunch them in. Tip 3 is to stop using terry cloth towels and instead use microfiber towels or an old cotton t-shirt. Tip 4 is to use a diffuser and try and use it really close to your head so that the air doesn't have too far to travel. And tip 5 is to sleep on a satin pillowcase with your hair in a really loose ponytail with a scrunchie. So I hope these tips have helped. Let me know if you have any tips for curly hair. I'm always looking out for new, better methods. And thanks a lot for watching.